Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. In this video, I'm going to show you these beautiful 7-gallon October Magic Ruby Camellias from the Southern Living Plant Collection. I had to stop and take some video of these in this big giant group. They're just coming into flower now. I haven't quite caught them in full flower, but this one has a beautiful red flower. This is a Camellia sasanqua. It is a newer introduction. It was bred by a man named Bobby Green. I'm actually at his place right now in Fairhope, Alabama. He is the breeder of many of the October Magic series of camellias that Southern Living Plant Collection has, and several others as well. His family has been in the nursery business for a long, long time. I was down here earlier in the summer and I asked him about that. Bobby Green from Green Nursery. His family's had a nursery for a very, very long time in Alabama, and he'll tell you more about that in a second. And he's transitioned over the years to breeding camellias and several other things. The October Magic series of camellias that I've shown you many times on this channel. We're standing in October Magic Rubies right now are his introduction. So can you give us a little history of your family's nursery?
Sure. Green Nurseries was started by my dad, who moved from Chicago in 1932.
Wow.
And at times I tell people it feels as if I've been here since 1932. But for the most part, it's just been a pleasure. It's hard to find work in a nursery at times. And through the years, we've kind of reinvented ourselves several times.
Right.
Moved from a wholesale nursery during the Great Depression to concentrating on landscape design in the 1950s through the 1980s. And now we've kind of come full circle. We're a wholesale-only nursery again.
Right.
But during the time we were doing landscape work, my favorite plant to use, kind of a signature plant, was a Camellia sasanqua.
Right.
And what we were finding was the plants available to us, though they would look something like this in a container in the nursery, you'd put them in somebody's garden, and in no time they were 6 to 8 feet.
Right.
And they were pruned in such a way that all the flowers would often be removed.
Right.
So what we were searching for in our breeding program that we started around 1990 were Camellia sasanquas that were vigorous and yet dense and full and semi-dwarf in nature, so that they could still bloom without a lot of maintenance.
Right. Okay. And how many would you say you've introduced and named at this point?
Probably in the October Magic series of camellias, I believe there are 11.
There are 11 of them. Wow. Okay. I've used orchid and I've used ruby. Which do you have? I'm assuming you have others that you're excited about upcoming.
We do some newer upcoming ones. October Magic White Shishi.
Yeah. Okay. I think everybody's going to be excited for white shishi.
It's an identical plant to the well-known Shishi Gashira,
right?
But with white flowers that look like a bunch of little floribunda white roses.
So I've shown you guys October Magic Ruby before. This is probably my favorite one of the October Magic series. It might get displaced by white shishi at some point. I just got one of those and it's in the ground now. But this one is super compact. I mean, you can keep this one under 5 feet, under 4 feet in width. Just gets absolutely full of red flowers in October, November, December. Super disease resistant. That's another thing that he's been breeding for. What are you mainly looking for? I mean, when you're plant breeding like this, I'm sure you're starting with a lot of pieces and you're whittling it down and trying to select. What are you trying to select for mainly in Camellia sasanquas right now?
Well, dense form with a long bloom season.
Okay.
Rich color in the leaves. And disease resistance is of great importance.
Right.
Because like a lot of groups of plants, some older camellias can run out of disease resistance over the decades.
Oh, really?
That's very true with a lot of older Camellia sasanquas, some that are quite well known, such as Cleopatra.
Right, okay, yeah, I got
Rosea.
you. Yeah, Cleopatra gets a lot of leaf spot issues, I always noticed in the nursery. You think that's just because the environment it's living in catches up with it?
That's probably exactly what's happened.
Okay, gotcha.
The analogy there to the rose is apt.
Okay.
There are a lot of old popular roses from the 1940s and 1950s that have just become very difficult to grow.
Right.
And the same is true with camellias in general.
Right. So just like any other Camellia sasanqua, October Magic Ruby is going to be hardy in zone 7 to 9. They prefer part shade. They're really insect and disease resistant. Camellias are susceptible to tea scale. They're in the tea family, and they can get a little bit of tea scale if they're not getting any air movement around them. It's generally speaking not a big deal at all, and are very, very drought tolerant. It's amazing to me, old Camellia sasanquas on old farmhouses, just how rugged they are, where nobody's maintaining them anymore, places that have been abandoned. So just super, super impressed by these. See the really nice dark green shiny foliage, the see all the flower buds on them right there, and then you got the really nice red flower, which I'm in too much sun out here, so I'm hoping this flower color may be blown out a little bit from that sun. But big giant group of 7-gallon October Magic Ruby Camellia sasanquas. Thank you very much for watching this video.